I'm ready.
That's why we do this on happy hour. You get to practice, and it's a good way to break into it. You get to make the mistakes in the happy hour speaking time that you shouldn't make during a normal Toastmaster meeting. All right, allow me, please, to introduce our first speaker today, Toastmaster Lori Hale. Lori is delivering a speech about the results and experience of building a new social media presence or enhancing an existing presence, as well as give us some of the benefits of social media. Her speech this evening is titled Creating My Brand. Madam, Mr. Timer, it's 5 to 7 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Toastmaster Lori Hale.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Do you have a story from your life that could empower or inspire another? Earlier this year, I thought I had the story. The Toastmasters contest speeches were coming up, and I had this experience with a business mentor that I thought was going to be the winning speech. I won on the club level. I gave that speech to so many other clubs, and then I got to the area, and I lost. I was crushed. And I thought, what was wrong with my story? And then I started thinking, what was wrong with those judges that they picked those other people over me? And before I started to get resentful, I thought, you know what? I have a voice and I have a message that needs to get out. There are other ways I can do this. 2 years earlier, I had left Facebook because I felt I was being stalked. So I deleted my account. I was never going to go back to Facebook. And I started a blog. I had been reading about bloggers, and these guys, the minimalists, they said, start a WordPress free account and start blogging. I thought, I love to write. I'll start telling my story with blogging. And I wrote this huge story, and then it got to the point to publish it. And I was afraid. I did not want to make myself a target to predators or stalkers because I have a story about overcoming childhood sexual trauma and abuse. And I want to connect with those people who are suffering from that trauma. So I just set the blog aside. It took the speech contest and losing to propel me into publishing it. I thought, you know what, it's time. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to do it. I started writing every week. And I'm going to show you my blog that I came up with. Okay, that wasn't supposed to come up first. We practiced this, and I didn't account for Zoom being here. Okay, go back in there. Trying to share to show you the blog and this toolbar. Move over. There it is. It's called Finding the Ordinary World, Learning to Survive Life. Because when you are overcoming sexual abuse, finding the ordinary world is enough. This is my post from yesterday, and it talked about my getting ready for this speech tonight to talk about this. I noticed in writing, I really enjoyed it. And then I kept publishing it, and I noticed there was no activity. And I thought, how come there's no activity on my blog? Well, you have to have an upgraded account to market and advertise. So I thought, you know what? I know how I could get my word out there, and it's Facebook. So I went back on after 2 years, and I opened a Facebook account. And I went on there and I started posting. Now, why am I echoing all of a sudden? That was weird. Posting my blog on Facebook. And I get all kinds of responses from it. But yet they're not posting on my blog page. And I asked them, hey guys, what's going on? Can you go post? I'm going to stop sharing because that's that's distracting. Can you go post on the blog post? Because WordPress keeps tracks of your stats. And it wasn't showing activity. And they said, well, you got to have a WordPress account. And I don't want a WordPress account. And I thought, oh, okay. Well, we have a challenge here. So I went back to posting it on Facebook because I only let people on my Facebook page who I'm friends with personally. And they're not stalkers, they're not predators. And I get a lot of feedback with Facebook. I had a lady today say, Laura, your blog post inspired me so much. I want to start writing on this project I've been working on. And I was like, really? That's what I'm going for, is trying to inspire other people with my experience. And then I noticed something else. And this is another thing I wanted to bring up briefly. You see here, there's a picture of me with a spatula on my hand. This is a YouTube video. I started doing YouTube videos. And that's a topic for another speech, because I could spend a whole speech just on that alone. I realized that I really enjoy doing YouTube videos for people. And I got, again, I put it on my Facebook page and I got all these responses from people. It was a bigger response than I expected. This was just 6 months. And there's about 10 people that go to the blog every week and they read it and they comment on Facebook. And I thought, gosh, you know what? I've got enough content here to create my own brand. And I thought, okay, now here we are. This is the next journey here. I'm writing my book. John's talked about, he's writing his, and I'm writing a chapter for his book. And then I'm going to keep doing these blog posts every week, and then start doing maybe weekly YouTube videos talking about my content, and then doing workshops helping people with tools to overcome trauma. We all have stories to tell that will help and empower another. Please don't keep your story to yourself. Tell your story and get it out there and help others. Mr. Toastmaster.